G'day and welcome to Aussievision. I'm Dale.
And I'm Liv.
And we've just seen the dress rehearsal, the first one for semi-final one, haven't we, Liv?
We sure have. It was a bit different to previous years. We actually all had to go into the arena. Normally you got the choice of whether you wanted to go into the arena and watch it there or watch it in the screens in the press centre. But this year we actually all had to go into the arena. So it was a bit of a different experience for us.
Yeah, we could see a bit of the screens, but it was kind of like that, all like really far away. And I don't have the best eyesight, but you could still see some of the LED use and something like. So you kind of got a bit of both, the live experience and the on-screen experience, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go in running order of all the songs from semi-final one, so we'll be here a bit, including the big five nations as well and the hosts. So, without further ado, let's start with Iceland, Liv. What were your thoughts on this as an opener?
It comes straight out the gate. They are like, they've got the pedal to the metal from start to finish. And as far as just getting a crowd hyped, getting that song out there and going, get the competition started, it's perfect as a show opener.
Yeah, because the opening act of the whole semi-final, but like the opening show kind of part of it, is really strong and powerful and really sort of upbeat. And then they kind of follow on from it. So I think that really works in their favour. I really like the LED use. I thought that was quite good. There was like Minecrafty and then a lot of aquatic things. There was some kind of, I don't know, it was a whale or something in the water. I couldn't really see.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you play Minecraft, it looks a bit like the squids in the game and stuff like that. Like, it's definitely very Minecraft inspired.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't do
it's
that.
quite blocky, and then, like, it's kind of, everything ripples in, like, this really weird, like, 4D cubey kind of way, but it looks cool. Honestly, the graphics look really cool, and I like their outfit changes. Like, I know that was something that you were quite worried about. I think it's an improvement, but I also don't think it's ideal. Yeah,
I've said this before in other things, that they're all kind of in silver and they're all going to get mashed up against sort of each other, but sorry. But that's, I don't think it's a big concern, actually. I think they pop out, it works. They bring out, they take the sunglasses off towards the end, which is nice to connect with them.
Yes.
So I think it's a really good opener. Look, I think, because it's really energetic and it's really full on, I wouldn't say vocals the strongest part of this entry. That's the only thing I would say.
Well, I mean, you can't. There were definitely parts of the song where it was like either the vocals were slightly out or the dance moves were slightly out. You didn't seem to ever get a moment where both of them were in sync, which is... it is what it is. It kind of goes with the chaos of the entry a little bit, but that was one thing that I noticed that I was a little concerned about, is that it was a tad messy at times.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I think it started a bit messy and actually got stronger as it went throughout. But no, it was good overall, and I think this is solid. I don't think I feel less or higher or lower about it qualifying. I still have it on the cusp.
Pretty much. Same for me. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Poland. Okay, Liv. What did you think of Poland? Because I just need to restrain myself, I think.
Yes, I'm going to be, I think, the more...
Objective
of the two. I mean, for me, going into the competition, she was sort of just outside of my top 10. So this is always a song I liked, but didn't love. Let's put it that way. So for me, that changed everything for me. This entry, it has... everything but the kitchen sink, but like in the really good way. Like, it doesn't feel overcooked, but there's just a feast of stuff going on. Like, they've really honed in on making it really polished rather than her just kind of just letting everything loose. Like, it was really like they hit their points. We go to this bit, we do this bit. Like, for me, it was bloody compelling.
It was so good. Probably the biggest reception in the media section, other than people who were going for their own countries. It was just so powerful. Like, you could feel it coming through the seats. You could feel it coming through her. It was just incredible. And watching the LEDs, I really kind of wanted just to watch her, but watching the LEDs, they look good. A lot of floor use, that looks nice. I like it. Yes, they've got the big dragons thing, which I think kind of works. I was worried, but I feel like she is giving that Mother of Dragons thing a bit. It was incredible. She owned that stage and she owned that whole stadium. It was incredible. I was like, that is one of the best things I've ever seen live in rehearsals. But it was my number one going in.
I will say, notably, I would say her backing dancers for me have been used to the best effect out of like anybody that I've seen so far. They're really strong. They're really good. The way they are used in the performance really enhances things. It's not just a bit of stage filler. Like, it really does help with the whole thing.
It's just amazing. Like, I just so impressed with it. She still does the fiddle thing, and it kind of, I feel that's the only bit in the middle. It kind of maybe loses its power and its oomph and everything, but it also sets it up for the end with her going up in the air and coming back down and screeching and running.
I was going to say, notably, her vocals were really good. I was so worried with the amount of moving around she's doing and the fact that she can sound a bit shouty at times. She got the balance just right.
Yeah, she did sound good. Yeah. She sounded excellent, actually.
Yeah, biggest reception, I'd say.
Yeah, feeling good things about Poland. Very excited. All right, Slovenia. That was quite the drop in tempo, and I'm going to have to say a bit of the drop in quality here.
I mean, what do you do? What do you do with this? Seriously, like, it's a sweet song. They've decided to go with the super paired back staging. Fair enough, whatever. There's a lot of LEDs and golds and whatever. Yeah, it's beautiful, sort of, but like it's kind of boring. But also, like, the main sticking point for this entry, right, is the vocals and the message. The message, I feel, is not delivered great with this staging to start, and then 2, the vocals. I mean, they were not quite right today. I was like, hello, this is like supposed to be the main draw card of this kind of song, and he was struggling today. So I'm hoping it was obviously just a one-off, but there was definitely some red flags there.
Yeah, I really feel for them performing today, because yesterday was such a big day with the turquoise carpet, and I think a few of them sounded tired, but I would say this is the one that really stood out to me, because we looked at each other about, like, you know, maybe a quarter of the way through the song and was like this is bad. But he got it back. I feel like the end of the song he did get it back, but I think the thing for me is I really like the starscape that he uses. There's like pictures and video on screen, which I'm... yeah, and they're telling the story. I felt that was a bit naff.
We've just seen it done before, but better, right?
Yeah, and I don't know, it just feels a bit X-Factory when people do that. It's a beautiful story, and I wanted to feel the emotion, and I felt nothing. And I do actually, when I listen to the lyrics, I do connect with the song, and I feel the emotion of it. But I just was left cold. Maybe I was distracted by the vocals, but I still think it has potential if he gets that right, because his simplicity could stand out. But he's getting stomped on by 2 big songs before, or energetic songs before.
Well, not just that. Estonia's up straight after him and just stomps on him some more. Do you know what I mean? Let's just go straight into the ground. And I also think for that market of more pared back songs, there's a few others that are scattered in this final that if something like a Portugal was going to service that market, I feel like they'd have a better chance than this.
True. All right, so it was Estonia next.
It was Estonia next. Tommy Cash.
Tommy Cash. What do you think?
I loved it. I've always liked it, but like this was his SD Lau staging, but just like on steroids in a really good way. So like a few things that they added, for instance, was like they had a fan run on stage. It's all like, and then like they started dancing together, and then they're kind of doing the funky dance together, and then at the end the security guards kind of like drag her off, like, and I think it's done quite well. I personally got a chuckle out of it. And also, you know that shot where he gets picked up by the security guards and then they like spin him around in circles? They've actually put coffee beans on the ground now, which I think it looks really, really cool. And I'll just say, I think this staging is great if you've never seen it before.
Yeah.
It is a little whatever if you have, but even for me who has seen his SD Lau staging, I still really enjoyed it, but I could understand why some people would be bored of it by now.
Yeah, look, it is fun. Like, I the first time I saw it, I laughed, I enjoyed it, it's good. I think the LED stuff where he's in the cafe and then they get on the plane and they're in Tommy Wood or whatever, I don't think it does too much for me.
I like it.
The coffee bean stuff at the end's cool, and then he says, like, something free coffee for everyone at the end or something like that.
I can't remember.
I know, and the thing is, you are really distracted at the start about maybe his abilities as a vocalist. It really stands out at the start, but you forget about it because you get into the show. It's a show, it's a performance, and it is fun, and he'll have no trouble getting through, I doubt. So it should be fine.
We'll experience that with SD Lau, where the first 15 to 20 seconds you're like, what is that? / I could do that. And then once he gets going, you're like, oh, okay, there's some charm here. So yeah. I was impressed.
Nice. And I think it's Spain next, is that right?
It was. Esta Diva.
Melody. I was very excited to see this one. Tell me what you thought, Liv.
I mean, if you're after just like slay diva pose, hair flick, dance, slay, like this is the entry for you. I do love her. I mean, she does do the outfit reveal. I think we knew she was going to do something like that, right? Because she loves it.
The photos are there, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
as well.
she's got this beautiful white like thing on. It's really gorgeous. I don't know how to feel about it, Dale, because I know you and I both really love this, but it actually kind of didn't do what I was expecting somehow.
Yeah, I kind of would just like to have seen the Benidorm staging over what we saw.
Yeah.
There was I thought the moment at the start was quite I thought like the big dress and things that sort of happened with the dances I think was really good. Then like she's performing and she's in that middle part and then there's that big curtain.
Yes.
And I understand why the curtain is because then that's when they have that big thing at the end, which everyone would have seen from the 30 seconds, a big sort of plinth staircase thing. And it's, I like the kind of effect of that. And then you go into the end with the LED. Like, it's all good and she's very good, but I'm not sure about the staging. I'm not sure about the staging.
I think what it is it's like, she comes out, outfit reveal, dance, and then I'm up the stairs, I'm down the stairs, I'm dancing, I'm at the front of the stage, I'm at the back of the stage, I'm dancing. It just kind of feels like it's going through the motions without anything that makes it truly unique from a lot of these other female bangers that we've seen with dancing in the past. There's no real moment that's like, that's the stamp of melody.
The only moment is the big note.
Yes,
but
she nailed.
Hearing that big note live was incredible. I did get goosebumps for that. Like, it kind of came through you. It was so good. But the rest of it, it's just, I don't think it's strong enough. It needed to, I'm a bit worried. And I love this so much.
Same.
So I hope, I don't think there's much they can do. It's done now.
It's done. I mean, there was no technical issues from what I could see or anything that could have been cleaned up. It is what it is. And
maybe some camera shots because we didn't really get to see the screen properly. So maybe the camera shots. We were
quite transfixed with watching her on the stage too, that I wasn't looking so much at the screens.
So that might make a big difference there. So we'll wait till we see them. We'll see them tonight. Ukraine next.
Yes.
I'm going to start on this one. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it because I felt like you think they've got that filter thing the whole time, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it, and it feels almost spacey and futuristic-y with the colours and the black and the turquoise and the whatever, and I just don't, it just doesn't all work for me. It just doesn't, and I really like the guys, and I've really grown to really like the song. I don't see the connect between the staging and the song.
Oh, wow. Okay, so for me, I will say the snippet that we saw before and the photos, I was like, I don't feel connected. But actually watching the full 3 minutes as the whole concept, I was like, I understand it now. And this has risen for me now. So there's these moments where like they have, how there's that beautiful female vocalist that does those really high-pitched noises. They have these really great moments with her where there's like this light, I don't even know how to describe it, it's really majestic, and I think they've just really got the aura of just like spring, light, warmth. I really feel it, through the whole performance.
Okay, all right. That's good though, because I wanted to do well.
It all comes together for me, and like I was really feeling the emotion of it.
I do need to see it on the screen. I did like when she came on, like that singer, that was good. That popped out for me.
Yes, I was actually watching the screens for most of it, and I thought it worked a lot better once you actually saw the whole idea from start to finish. As soon as you took any little section by itself, it was a bit like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I will say the outfits are they're not quite right.
Okay.
They're not quite right.
I like the outfits.
Oh.
We literally disagree on everything except for that one shot of the backing vocalist. But I will reserve judgment until I see that on screen because by tomorrow I'll be like, I love it. All right, Sweden next.
Big bookie favorite.
Bookie favorite. What did you think of this?
I don't know if it's that. It's my favorite song, and I would love to see it win. I don't know if it's all those other expectations, but when it kind of hit in the running order, I was expecting it to come out and like smack me over the head and for me to like drop down on the floor and be like, oh my god, Stockholm 2026, but I didn't, and I'm just not sure if it's that we're in the bubble, and like the feelings are like not quite right.
Yeah, I know it. I'm really glad you said that because we haven't talked about this.
No,
we've saved it for the video.
We made sure not to say anything to each other.
I do think there's probably an element that we've seen it so much and blah blah blah. But also, it's the first time we've got to see it live. We love the boys; they're great.
Yeah.
It was all very good. There was something just a little bit off in the start. Like I don't know, they just didn't seem to be I just feel it needed a bit of polishing. They felt a little off. And maybe that's just its rehearsal and it's building up. I'm sure they'll nail it on the night. Something just felt not quite right. I don't know how to explain it. It was just, it's a feeling I got from watching it.
Yeah, I'll agree. But I do think, they took about 30% off the accelerator with that, which is fine. They have so many rehearsals to get through that sometimes people do phone it in a little bit, which is, that's part of the game. Exactly. That's not a problem. But I will say that the small changes that they've made from Melfest, I personally think this looks significantly better than the Melfest performance.
I agree.
I don't think anyone who's worried about that should worry. They've made lots of little changes which actually make it more vibrant and more cozy. It's funny, off screen, you pointed it out, there's they have these LEDs with deer and all. There's actually lots of detail in the background that you don't even really see in the performance. It's pretty much, I think, just for the people in the stadium to have something to look at. And I think all the small changes they've made, and especially that last 30 seconds when they come out to the front of the stage, that slapped. It was good.
It was good. I love when they came out, and it really did pop at that point. Yeah. And the LEDs were good to it gave it different things. That's why everyone was wrapped up on the orange thing. That happens, but then you're on green and you're in light, and then you go to orange, and you come that
blue,
and the LEDs kind of did that, and they kind of changed landscapes and stuff, which is really cool. I liked it. So there's a lot of positive. The little bit of negative is only because we're holding it up as a Eurovision winner, and I think you're right. If they would just pull back a bit, and that's I think maybe what the feeling was.
Yeah, I mean, I had this feeling with both Cardia and Loreen back in Liverpool, where I was like, oh, are they as good as I think they are? And then it's yes, they are. They're the first and second place.
Yep. All right, Portugal next. I'll start on this one. I really love the start. It felt like a sunrise, and it felt like it was warm and beautiful, and I feel like that's a feeling I get from that song. It's like a little comfort thing, and I know the story's about obviously going away from where you're from, etc. And they do show that in the LEDs, but I don't think that comes through on the screen. I think they do a lot of storytelling on the screen that just doesn't come through, and when you see it on the screen, it just kind of goes warm blue, warm blue, warm blue, and I just kind of it doesn't feel right for the song. I'd almost keep it a lot more warm and then maybe bring a bit of that coolness into it and then come back again. I don't know, it just felt a bit disjointed for me.
Yeah, I agree. And in the LEDs they have little planes taking off, and I'm it's a little literal, I don't know, it just looks a bit lame to me. But I will say on a positive note that this is definitely a really good spot in the running order for it, because it stood out. I'm not someone who enjoys this particularly much, but actually when we got to this part I was like, oh, it's a nice breathing song, a palate cleanser, something that was a little bit more low-key in the way that Slovenia could have been. And I think it stood out in that way for me. I think it's in a good spot anyway.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I get what you're saying there, because there could be one of those kind of soft ballady songs that do something. And I don't know. I like the song. I expected more. I think with really nice staging they could have given themselves a chance, but I think they're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, Norway next. Alessandro. Great performance overall. Very slick. A lot of fire. Then we get into coolness and everything. But I have to say at the start, I think his vocal sounded a bit tired, but he always nails it, and he brought it back at the end. But he didn't sound quite right at the beginning.
Yeah, that first minute or so, it was a bit ropey. You could hear a bit of strain sneaking in there, but hopefully he does all of his exercises and whatever, and it all calms down by the time we get to the live stuff. But it always is a little concerning when you're this early into the contest and someone's vocals are already sounding a little tired.
A little strange, yeah.
Let's hope it was just a one-off there. But as far as his staging goes, it is pretty much exactly what he did at Melody Grand Prix, except just beefed up. The LEDs are a bit brighter. There's more fire. They've got that prop thing that he sort of goes between with the two pylons, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much that. And I will say what stands out is just having a male dancer who owns it so much like that and is really poppy. It just stands out. Yeah.
It's just all so slick and so well done. Mm-hmm. For a whole part of it, every LED you can see is just fire. Yeah. For such a long period of time, and to a point that I'm like, I hope they change, and then they go into the cool thing, and then the fire comes out at the front and everything, and it just works. He'll get it right, and even if his voice will be fine. It'll be fine enough. It's a good, slick, well put together thing, and Norway's done another very good job. Mm-hmm. Talk about owning the stage. Belgium. This was great to see live. I was very impressed. What do you think?
Okay, I'm going to preface everything I'm saying by I couldn't really see the screens for this one. They didn't show much in the arena, and that usually just means that their camera angles mean that the screens would be caught if they use, you might see the screen, so they turn them off for a lot of the performance. So anyway, I didn't catch much of it on the screen, but what we saw in the stadium was phenomenal. That bass and boom, and then when that high note comes with the bass and boom, could have pulled me from a coma. It was just, you felt it. For me, that was like the moment of that whole time in the arena. There was when he hit that high note, and it was all bass and boomy, like whoosh. Loved it.
When he hit that high note, it's fantastic. And I love the other Red Sebastians who come out, and I'm just so impressed with Red Sebastian, just owning the whole stage, doing it. And I was always a little bit worried about, his kind of ability to do that. Totally not worried at all. Fantastic. The one little, it's very red for a long part of it. There's a little maybe too much, because when it does go to the white LED with the red, it actually is quite striking. I wish I'd maybe use that a little bit more.
I agree. I think they could have maybe transitioned through even maybe having like not black sections, but like darker grey or something, and then ending with the white, because it is red on red with the outfit and everything, and I will be interested to see down the lens what that looks like, because I'm a little concerned that it will be a bit washed out. But definitely the mini Sebastian's very effective, and if you're in the arena, do watch them when they're not on camera, because they do some amazing like dance moves and stuff even in between, and that rose hugely for me, and kudos for him for really like growing as a performer in such a short amount of time.
Totally. He also has like there's one part which I found a bit odd when he's on the ground with like a version of himself or something, like a reflection. He's like almost on all fours or something. It just looked a bit odd. I need to see that on screen, because it just looks a bit odd to me. But anyway, I had to find something on the downside, because everything else is fantastic. The only thing I did notice is they didn't do it for the big high note the first time because we couldn't see it. The second time, when then there's all the dancers in the background, all the pretend dancers, they're not doing the thing from Eurosong, which is the in and out kind of thing, which I love that shot.
Yes.
So they're not using it for the end. I don't know if they're using it for the start, but probably not, which I understand with this performance is different, but I love that. So I'm a bit of a shame to see that go.
Yeah.
Italy next.
Italia.
Lucio. Very Sanremo performance, right, with two big speakers behind him.
Yeah, I mean, like, what did we expect, bro? Like, so he's got a piano out there. He starts behind the piano. Cool beans. There's subtitles on the screen, which I think is a very interesting choice. Don't you think, Dale?
We've had a discussion about this. I kind of feel like, yes, I think the use of some kind of English words or other language to kind of get the message across can work well. I don't know about literal subtitles at the bottom. It says to me, you don't have faith in your song to transcend. It's a complicated story to tell though, but I'm not a fan overall, but I come from a place of English speaking, so I have a lot of benefit, I guess. So I don't know. I just think normally Italian music can just stand on its own 2 feet. So I kind of don't like it.
That's true, actually. And you think there's a lot of entries out there that have a very complicated message that's not in English this year, and none of them are kind of relying on that crutch. So
yeah,
I think it would have been one thing, yes, if it was just a few phrases here and there. But yeah, I don't know about that. What was notable about this performance, actually, is at the end he comes out the front with his little guitar dude, but he actually does a little live harmonica solo. So I can't recall the last time we've heard an actual live instrument at Eurovision.
I'm very surprised he's allowed to.
Correct. And I tried to listen. I will say I'm 99% sure it was live. It did sound genuinely live.
I feel like it on the Reddit thread of the Eurovision, the official one, that they said it was. So I'm pretty sure it is. And if that is the case, I don't think it's in the spirit of the competition. I get a bit rule crazy, but
because there's a lot of artists that have wanted to use things and they haven't been able to, and he's kind of got away with it because it's like, it's an easy one because you just shove it next to the microphone.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's his mouth, and maybe they're trying to say it's the same instrument, but you could say that about a trumpet or a clarinet or anything, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, and also I don't think it works very well because I just want to you hear the other guy singing just not as strongly, and I just don't think it works well. I don't like it in multiple ways.
It definitely stood out because I was like, but to be fair, as a casual fan, no one's going to be sitting there analysing it being like, are you allowed a live instrument at Eurovision?
Yeah,
but
true.
for us, it's like
oh my God.
So yeah, pretty much his Sanremo performance, just slightly more staging.
Yeah, true. All right, Azerbaijan next. I really feel like they needed to have some really big staging to give themselves a chance because of the style of the song. What do you think?
Yeah, like the staging's not good. It's just not good. There's nothing happening. It's like 3 minutes of kind of similar colours, tone, concept. It doesn't have any sort of story. It's very static. I just don't know how you could make it any less interesting, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I felt a bit awkward at times watching it. I think some of the way they're really trying to get the most out of it, and they're really trying, you know,
Yes.
and I think that's coming through in not in a good way. The way they're kind of like really trying to sing to the camera.
Yeah.
Like even the very start, I was like, oh, just tone it down a bit.
Just a whiff of desperation. But
yeah, there was a little bit.
But there was also a little bit of sort of vocal strain in there as well.
There was.
So the fact that there was kind of nothing that was really jumping out as positive, I was like, oh gosh.
I really feel like this one was one of the lowest performing of today. And he did hit a very big note at the end, which is not the song, which I think is a positive.
If there was a jury.
Yeah, because it's too late. It's right at the end, right? And it does kind of just come out of nowhere. Yeah. And then he just does it.
Yeah.
But like, I really like the song, and I do like the song. I just wanted more, and I just don't think it's come through here.
No, sorry if you're a fan.
All right, San Marino next. Now, I was saying, I think after you've got Italy, you've got Azerbaijan, and then this comes, and I think there's also some host talking at some point as well. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
And I was getting a little flaggy in there, and then this came on. I was like, yes, this is the energy I need. I was like, this is great. I want this right now. And I'm not a huge fan of the song, so I was loving it, which I think is a good sign.
I'll agree. This was definitely a good spot in the running order from it, and it does need a lot of help. They're not a country that can rely on a big televote, so all that stuff. I think you can tell that Gabri's brought a good budget to this performance. Like, there's a lot of pyro through the whole song. Pretty much every time the song kind of drops, there's like pew, 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 pew. But it helps. And I think it's a very unenviable position to have to stage a DJ at Eurovision. It's very difficult, but I actually think they've pretty much done as much as they could to make this as compelling as possible, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I still want to see it down the screen because I'm still not bought into these LEDs. There's just a lot of Italian stuff and a lot of things going on in the background, which could look really messy on screen. I didn't really like the 30-second clip that we saw, but now I'm feeling positive about its running order, but now I see it on screen. So I think it, for me, lifted a lot today. And I think the overall 3 minutes felt really good, and what I could see did look okay. Didn't look too messy. And I do think they've done a good job with the DJs and the singers of how they've staged that, which is very tricky, as you said.
Correct. And I kind of do understand having him as the focal, even though nothing live is coming out of him. I think actually it makes a bit more sense, that it could have been too cluttered if you focused on everyone else too much. But the other positive from this is that they've improved the mixing, and the vocalists and all that has just gotten so much better from what we saw at the national final. You can actually listen to it now and enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to Albania next. I'm intrigued about what you thought about this performance.
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I could see, and once again, I'll preface this with saying I watched a lot of that, but not actually looking at the screens that were up. So, it's a little different, but from what I could see, there was a good combination of her telling her story, having moments to breathe, dance, do the emotion, and then, going to Cole and then doing his little talking, and it just seems like it flowed really nicely. It wasn't like, okay, now we do the dance bit, and now we do a bit of this, and now we do a bit of that. It just felt like this really nice, warm hug of a story.
Yeah, I think a lot of red and black, as we'd expect. Her dress is great. She's fantastic. She really, when she does the dance part, and I kind of looked on stage and up on screen, it just looks captivating, as it always does when she does it. That's fantastic. The split stage thing only comes in when he comes on, and then it merges when she comes back again, which is good, because I like the split thing as long as it wasn't too long in there. It's just enough. So that works. There's parts of this which I think is so powerful and work really well. Other parts, I don't know. I felt like maybe, again, they would dial it down a little bit and they'll bring that full energy. I need to see it through the screen, because I was maybe hoping for just a tad more just something to grab me a bit. I love this song, and I want Albania to do really well. I think a lot of it works, but there's this sort of 10% that's just not quite completely feeling like it's fully baked yet. Rehearsals.
Yeah, that's kind of fair enough. I do think there's a lot of shots in there where if they don't make it either super intimate or showing a lot of the LEDs, there's a lot of mid shots from what I could see.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is.
And having that mid-distance shot doesn't really work, I feel, for the song. And they had quite a few of them. And I was like, I know her outfit's nice, but, like I'd rather connect with her.
Yeah.
So that's probably something that I noticed, and I thought, I wish they could tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, but there's still time. They'll still be changing shots right up until the live show.
I thought it was very striking. I was impressed.
Netherlands. Netherlands. I really, 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 really wanted to be positive about this. I love this song. I love him. I didn't feel this is a very good rehearsal.
Yeah, like it's really tricky. So they start off like very like up and close with him, and then slowly like everything as more movement comes, and then more backing dancers, and it sort of grows and gets bigger and bigger. But at the same time, it's very dark. There's no kind of flourish where everything kind of explodes. It's a bit repetitive, genuinely. And visually, kind of not really that striking what they're doing. Like for me, it didn't really kind of take me on a journey. It was just a bit bland. Yeah,
I liked how it started. I did like him on his own, a little bit of movement, dance come in, a little bit more. The violinists were there.
Yeah.
That up to that point, I'm like, okay, you've taken me somewhere. Where are we going to go now?
And then it really needed to climax at the end, and it just didn't.
No,
they had this sort of flower LED thing, and I was like,
it
looked weird.
Yeah, like because when I read about it in the Eurovision blog, they were like, oh my god, it's like this big floral LED, it's brilliant. Yeah. And then it came on, I was like, is that it?
Yeah, I was expecting it to change a bit more, and then it kind of didn't, and I was like, oh, I don't think this looks very pretty. I don't know.
And he does that kind of like dance with like a video version of the child from the
the
video. I'm not sure how that was working.
Dale's getting triggered by children at Eurovision.
I wasn't actually upset about it.
No.
Yeah. But I don't like children on stage. It's not, again, rules. But I didn't mind that part. But again, it just felt like a tacked on the end. Like none of it flowed. And unfortunately, like again, 95% of the vocal was really good. But when it missed hard. Like it was there was one or two. I thought one or two really off notes.
You reckon? Like I didn't really hit my radar of like I didn't.
I thought there was one in particular.
Okay.
I actually like.
Oh.
Yeah. But maybe it wasn't that bad. I just wanted so much for this that I'm just a bit more disappointed. But I'm a little worried for Netherlands now.
Oh, no.
I'm still worried. I'm worried now.
Okay, well that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's true. The fact that we're having this discussion, it's gone from this. Some people thought this was a potential winner to now potential shocking cue. Like,
yeah, might be just not just enough to get through. I think it's probably good in this semi.
I think it's a quality enough song.
It is. Yeah.
That even if the stage is not the strongest, it'll be fine.
I hope so, because I really love the song and I really love him, and I really hope it gets through. But today it didn't work for me. Croatia, I'll talk about not working for me. Croatia, I'll start. Pretty much it's like the green and red, and it's really strong colours for the kind of angry bit. Then it's all bright pink for the, bit. And then he keeps that cape on for a long time.
I was expecting it to shed much earlier.
Because actually when he takes it off and does a part at the end, I actually think visually looks good. He went for some really good notes that were great, but they kept going and going with the vocal.
Yeah.
And on the screen they use that shaky bit all the time.
Yes.
And you got to use it sparingly.
My number one nitpick with this performance is that it's actually difficult to see anything at any point. It's either too dark, too much smoke,
yeah.
way too much smoke, get the vape out of someone's hand, or it's the shaky cam. It's combinations of all three sometimes, and I think I can't actually see anything. Like, what is going on? And the cape itself is like black, like it's very dark.
Is it maroni or is it black?
I don't know, but it really blends in with the stage. And then yes, it's much better once he peels it off, because he had sort of a white shirt or something, didn't he?
Yeah, it looks good at the end. That's what, and you almost get to the point where you're like, please take it off. And as a viewer, you never want that. You want it to come off at the right time. Right, and then we had Switzerland. Now this is a really tricky one to talk about, because we basically couldn't see much on the screen. They barely showed anything on the screen. And then she was just surrounded by a team of people.
Yeah.
So many people are involved on stage of doing this.
Yeah, it was quite fascinating to see it. Would you say there was like at least 6 people on stage?
Well, there'd have to be 5 only. Well, you got to be 6,
no,
right?
but they're camera people. They were like
of course. They're not. Yeah, you can just have as many as you want.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. So she had a lot of like in the all black stagehand stuff, doing special camera stuff, special lighting, holding special stuff to get the effect of her being by herself. But what that meant is it was very static, and because most of the arena you couldn't really see much of what was going on because it's not really moving anywhere, and they're just surrounded by all these people.
They kind of they move in a circle? I feel like they do.
Yes.
I feel like they were moving around a bit.
I feel like they were, but like because there's so many people on stage, and it was actually done at the back of the stage as well. Like we didn't physically see much of her.
No, it's not an in-stage performance in the stadium performance.
It looked really stunning on the screens from what we could see. What we could see, but in the arena, there's not much to see.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be very special on TV. There's something at the end where you have the lights of your phone, which will be good to connect with the crowd, because otherwise it could end up being beautiful but just like a video or a film, and people want to see that connection with the live crowd.
I think those first 2 minutes in the box, or in the studio perhaps, and then the way that they have the little message saying everyone turn your lights on, and then like I got to admit the twinkly lights will look spectacular once we get more than 50 press people, like a few thousand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but I mean I'm very excited to see it, because I'm very excited about what this could look like, and it's beautiful.
Like it. There's nothing like it.
It was a wow moment of me of those 30-second clips, and I'm ready to be wowed.
I'm seeing juries frothing over this.
Yeah. Cyprus.
Last song. I liked the scaffolding for about 30 seconds, and then they unfold the scaffolding, and then he does something slightly different with the scaffolding, and then they refold the scaffolding, and then he's standing on it, and then they spin the scaffolding, and then he's spinning on the scaffolding, and I'm sorry, it was just a few different origamis of the same thing. Like, it shocked me how bored I got.
I'm glad we agree on this one.
Okay, great.
Good. I thought it started strongly. Like, I love the shots at the start. It looked really good. Scaffolding thing's cool for a bit. The movement's kind of cool. But it just feels the same. I'm dying for him to get out of there. And then he does. Yeah. He runs to the stage for a bit, and then he runs back like he's scared. It's like a scared cat that's got out and runs back to the scaffolding.
I need to get back to the construction site.
It's a bit weird, don't you think?
It is. And to note, it's quite a physical performance for him.
Yeah.
You could tell he was having to work really hard to keep that vocal together, and I wouldn't say it was all together.
No, it wasn't. No. Look, I think maybe it'll look. We did see a lot of the screen, so I'm hoping maybe once you see in the screen the full performance and the full thing, maybe it'll click a bit more. But I just think there was so much potential with this song to be wow, and constricting it just seems such the opposite move of what I would do for a song like this. And
not just that, the colour scheme, it's like the white, just white.
It goes red for a bit, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, but like a little bit, not enough to make any real visual difference. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I mean, especially considering once those rehearsal photos came out, everyone was kind of like, oh, it's back on, they could qualify.
Yeah. And
then to actually see the full show and be like, oh, okay, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cyprus.
Well, that's it. That's all the songs. I have to say probably Poland and Belgium were the ones that jumped out for me.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're really... And talking to a lot of people, it's kind of the vibe here.
Yeah. They're the ones that's on everyone's lips at the moment, I feel.
All right. Well, thanks, Liv. We'll be doing it all again. Well, we'll be giving our predictions tomorrow. We're going to see the jury show through the screens, and then we can change our mind on everything, because that can happen when you see the full screen performance. All right. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.